Good afternoon, people. It's me, Paul here. Right, what this video is about is a comparison between the PerfectDraft Pro here on my right, your left, my right, I don't know, I'll get confusing, and the Blade. Both big hitting machines, as I'm sure you know. One thing I must say, the handles are custom. That's something I put on myself. I mean, a lot of people complained about the height of the PerfectDraft Pro. If you're on a kitchen table that you were used to with the standard PerfectDraft, obviously that's not going to happen now. Even with the standard one that was about there, the Blade one's not any bigger really than the standard black one that comes with it. But yeah, I mean, this is a tough one. I've been asked to do this a few times now, and at the weekend I said, yep, let's get this done, right? It's a tough one because they're both, in their own right, fantastic machines. I mean, yeah, a lot of the time I'm more of a PD man to an extent, because my favourite beer being Frankie Royal, but that's not taking nothing away from the great Blade. When it comes to build, this stainless steel is known as a better build than this. So, and of course when your keg's in, which I'll go on to later, show you about loading them up and everything, when your keg's in, it's a big thing that you can see it here, and you switch your light on there and it lights up, which it does mean a lot. I mean, with your dome, do excuse the Tottenham thing on it, that's one of them things. And so with your PerfectDraft, to load in, it goes in here. Oh, hold on. As I say, obviously there's a lot of pros and cons with both. I mean, the way the drip tray comes out on your PerfectDraft there is really handy, especially if you've got limited space, or you can just push it in. The Blade drip tray, it's a bit big, isn't it, if I'm honest? But it goes with the flow of the machine. So again, there's two ways of looking at it. That's your PerfectDraft Pro new one. Just clean that. I don't know how that any beer came out when there's nothing loaded in it yet. But yeah, so that's basically it. This is obviously, if you're counting your dome, your Blade is higher. Remember, you wouldn't always have that unless you chose to. Whereas your PerfectDraft is longer in length. The one thing with these, when you change your Blade one, you need an adapter or someone that knows what they're doing with these, unless you buy it particularly to fit the Blade. Where you see a PerfectDraft, you can pick up anyone from ebay.com, ebay.co.uk, so on and so on, and as long as it's got standard fitting, it will fit into the PerfectDraft Pro, whereas to it won't the first machine, the standard Phillips machine, obviously. But yeah, so what I'll do, I'll pause this for now and I'll come back in a tick with a keg of each and go through that. Bonjour. Right, here we go. Now I've got the kegs. Firstly, it's your Blade keg. Can I actually do the camera? I can't move the camera so you can see. Right, hold on. Let's just flip this open. Oh, okay. So it's just a bit of recyclable plastic it comes in, which you can just put in your recycling bin. Once you've got it open, here is your keg. You see, that's just be a recycle. That's easy enough. One huge advantage is you don't send the keg back as you do the PerfectDraft. Hold on a sec, gonna have to pause. So yeah, 8 litres in each one. That is your most important bit, and pushing that in is important, which a lot don't know. So you just push it down, undo your bit here like that. Okay. Whoa. I used a Edelweiss keg, being possibly my favourite on the Blade. You take your dome off, ooh, a bit tight for space here. Then your keg's going in. Push this bit forward. Hope you can see that without me being in the way too much. I'll come grab from the side here. And then one thing, they are quite heavy. If you think it was a single woman or something, they are quite heavy. Ensuring you get that in like that, and then just twist that bit back up. Hold on, I'm trying to remember. Aha, that's it. Back on with the dome. And then you lock it in. Little flash green. Make that little booting in noise. Should stop in a sec. And that's it. Your keg's ready to go. I mean, it's quite cold, obviously, the keg already, because it's cold outside, but that temperature, the temperature gauge there, I don't know if the camera can pick that up so much because you've got this in the way, and you have amount left there on the left. With temperature gauge, one thing, and it's a huge advantage of the blade, the temperature does drop quick, although going on to the Pro in a minute, they have improved that from the standard PerfectDraft. But yeah, that will just drop in time. So if I take this off, trick tray for the blade, this one opens outwards like that. The PerfectDraft, I'm using a Hogarth. You see? Now these are metal kegs rather than the plastic ones. With a blade, once you finish your keg, you can cut it. There's loads of diagrams and things online. You can make it a plant pot, a light, lampshade, or you can just recycle it. That's your choice. These have to go back because when you pay for these kegs, you're paying a £5 deposit. So it's free, and you just book them in through your keg hub with Beer Hawk. That's easy enough, and that's really not a problem. One thing with these, you've got to pull this bit off, and believe you me, be careful when doing that. It's probably the hardest thing about it. I mean, my own wife cut her hand so bad, she was almost in hospital. You just put that out, it's simple enough. This comes off, easy as well, because it even says open here. Comes out. This is like your blade. Each time you're getting a clean pipe. And that's priceless for your fresh beer. Because if your pipe's clean, you're halfway there. Right, this bit, again, this is different to the standard PerfectDraft. This comes out. Whoa, whoa. It's not as heavy as it seems. And you fold through. Oh, but I'm not going to do it. Haha, that's it. That folds through into there, as I've just folded it down, and then just clicks in like that. Goes onto your keg. Unfortunately, I never put them face on. I don't know why. They're always off to the side. I've never had one. A few people have face on. So then it's going down like that. You click that in until you know it's clicked in. That's clicked in, and then that goes straight back in, which is easy enough. Into here, it just balances through like that. Again, it's saying 9 degrees, but it's not. It will settle and it will drop relatively quickly. I'm trying to think of what I did with the blade thing now. Anyway, what I'll do, I'll let the machine settle and calm down. I'll put the old blade tray back on, and then I'll discuss a bit more, go into a bit more about them. I'll be back. Right, okay, machine's fully down. I broke some bulletproof points so I don't forget everything. I did the first part on my own. I have my wife here with me now. One thing, the reason we got this one, in case you don't know, because luckily we got involved in the beta program to get them first, didn't we? So
yeah, they're like a trial run version of what they're going to bring out on the mainstream. So
right, just to reiterate, 6 litres go in the Perfect Draft Pro and 8 litres in the Blade. One thing with the Blade is Michelle made a point, always take your red thing off.
Yeah, don't forget that.
Oh, I can't get it off. Oh, sorry. Always take that
Get
off.
the mess if you forget to take that off.
Because I've forgotten that before, haven't I? When we've had a few. One of the main points with the Perfect Draft is the temperature control, which you can move up on the dial here.
Yeah, manually it can be done here and here, up this side, down this side.
Or you have this app, which I'll show you now briefly, where you tell it what's in it, and it tells you what's left, what the temperature is. Obviously we'd rather that in pints rather than litres, but you can't have everything. So it's set at 5. No, it's at 5, but we're taking it to 6. I didn't mean to do that. I've done that before, so right. But yeah, as I say, it tells you it's basically, it's hard for the phone to pick it up there.
Yeah.
That's it. It tells you what's in it, how much is left, which Blade owner will say that's really only a gimmick.
If you've got teenage kids at home that may well be pinching your beer while you're out at work, it does give you a good indication if someone's been dipping your keg.
Yeah, also it counts for your IPAs, because obviously,
Oh, but the temperature it does, yeah.
I mean, we've even found the Weizen beers that we loved at 3 degrees. There's so much more to it. That can't be George Michael on the phone, so it's irrelevant, isn't it? Right. The Perfect Draft does have a much bigger selection, but the Blade is catching up. I mean, when we first got a Blade, there was only, was it 3 kegs?
Yeah, it was very, very limited when we first got one. They've been introducing all kinds of new things lately, so they're getting better with their selection.
And I do, another thing, I do like the way, as I say, as I said earlier about the lighting up, you put your light on and off there, as you can see, and it does look good. It doesn't show a lot now because it's in the middle of the daytime, but at night time, then yeah, that does count. So
Yeah, I do think the aesthetics of the Blade are more appealing than the Draft Pro, but
yeah, I mean, like I say, a lot of people will say the Blade's a more sturdy build. I don't know if the Perfect Draft Pro does what it does. The Blade, I think, is on about 2 degrees. Well, we're having an IPA, you know yourself, 2 degrees is no good, but Blade will probably hit back, I would think.
And maybe do one with temperature control at some point.
And it is quite a lot heavier, the Blade, especially when they're empty.
Yeah.
Whereas the Perfect Draft Pro looks big and cloddy. When it's empty, it's really not that bad, is it? So that's a point, and that is heavy, that machine.
And you showed with the loading of the kegs, didn't you, that especially for someone of my size, going in and trying to load that Blade for me is really difficult. You got to get the keg up and over. I'm sure I'm not particularly strong. That's quite difficult for me. Whereas the Draft Pro is front loading, which is a lot easier.
As long as you don't take your hand off on the bit I mentioned earlier in the video. Which
Well, I have done that once.
Which you nearly did. It was nearly a hospital job,
Yeah.
wasn't it? So it's, like I say, there's pros and cons with both of them. A simple solution, get them both. If you were choosing one, my philosophy is,
You've got to look at what you're drinking.
Yeah, look at what you're drinking, look at what you like. If you're into Moretti, you want your Blade. I don't think Moretti's any good, really, but that's just my opinion.
It's a strong favourite for some people, and if that's really what you like drinking, and that's going to be your main drink, then yeah.
Yeah, but as I say, there's a lot of people that have got Blades from Moretti have found out that there's a lot more to the Blade than the Moretti. So there's, again, there's 2 sides to it. Perfect Draft, you've got, look on Beer Hawk.
There is a massive selection with them now.
Yeah, it's about 50 kegs, I think, with the seasonal releases. Whereas to the Blade, there's probably 20, I would say, something 20 something.
Yeah.
When they're all in stock, I mean, a lot of times with Perfect Draft, they sell out, don't they? You get your seasonal releases, you get some that are come in and go fast. I mean, can't they all buy tenants? I've never put one through here.
It's all personal preference, just depends what you like, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, there is that. It's like, all right, another thing, the cost. The Blade comes in at about I believe £450 now with a couple of kegs of Moretti. The Perfect Draft Pro, if it comes at the price we paid, was 330, which again is a thing. Obviously we get some back because we're doing the surveys and we've had a video call and all that sort of thing, haven't we?
Yeah.
But it's, as I say, it's personal preference again, isn't it? But I think the temperature control really counts and really helps. I think that's something that Heineken, Beowulf, Blade will look into, obviously sooner rather than later.
Big advantage, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a big advantage. It'll be interesting to see how the Perfect Draft Pro holds in the summer, because my normal Perfect Draft did struggle in here with the heat, because although it's cold now, whereas for the
once
Blade,
it got really hot,
yeah,
it was struggling to hold the temperatures.
was down there.
Yeah.
But the Blade always
managed to stay at that low temperature.
Yeah, even when the temperature gauge went up to a quarter on the Blade, and we thought, oh no, and it was perfect, wasn't it? It was still ice cold, which is what you want in the summer. You know, you don't want a 10-degree drink.
No.
But like I say, the Pro, you know, the temperature gauge is the main thing about it, really, isn't it? Yeah, people are moaned at the size, but as I pointed out, your Blade's still bigger anyway, no matter what way you go about it.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about one or the other. Then, yeah, size-wise, there's not a lot on it with the height.
No, there's that little bit there, but obviously it's bigger this way, the length, isn't it, of the Perfect Draft Pro. But then again, when you take out the drip trays, there's not that much in it. As I said, I believe the drip tray for the Blade's a little bit big, but it does go with the design of it. The one with the Perfect Draft, as I showed you earlier, that tucks in
and out. That's not. I like that. It's nice.
Again, it's handy, isn't it? Right, the glasses, I'll give them a pour. Oh, yeah.
I will go and get them.
Yeah, sorry, I had the glasses over there. Do you want a pour one?
No.
Right, okay. So, pouring. One thing, and Perfect Draft have really got this right. I drink a lot of Frankie Royal. The difference is now my glass goes underneath.
Yeah.
And if I do vice versa, it's fine. But it's the same with the original Perfect Draft.
A lot of people want the right glass for the right drink.
But it makes you feel better, doesn't it?
It makes it a little bit more difficult for pouring.
There's a simple solution. If your glass is too big, take out your drip tray. That's what I do. And pour your beer. Right. Pouring can be an issue. Be warned, this is the first off both the kegs. So normally you get a bit of froth.
I get a very, very big head when I pour from the
like that.
Blade.
I always say. As much
it doesn't matter how hard I try to get the angle right, I don't get the pour right on this.
Look at that. As much as you can go with that glass. I could have got away with the drip tray on, but as high as you can, slowly turning down, slowly. Ah!
Oh, that was close. That's perfect.
Look at that. That's not bad for the first one, is it? It's bloody lovely as well. So
and that's the noise that you're getting while you're pouring from that particular machine. Yeah,
you can't help that. Look at that. That's handsome, isn't it? Oh yeah.
Perfect pour.
Oh, and that's the first one out. Like I say, I probably didn't need to remove the drip tray, but just in case. Right.
With the Blade, once you start pouring, you can't stop and then start pouring again. You get a lot of foam, don't you?
Yeah, you do have to be careful. But it's only something with practice, as you can see there.
That is definitely something that's to do with how you pour
right,
yourself.
This next one is Show Garden. I'm going to mess this one up, aren't I? I've just got this feeling. Again, straight to the angle, as far as you can go. Slowly. And there we go. The thing I like about that, if you haven't got enough of a head, give it a bit of that. Yeah. Don't do that little trick with a blade, because you'll end up regretting it. There you go. Look at that. I'm a dab hand at this today.
He is. That's why you will always see him pour the drinks and not me.
And you can see now on your thing, I explained about the fuel gauge. Fuel. It's like a fuel gauge, but your beer gauge has gone slightly down there. Your temperature, the blade's brilliant with that. They say chill the keg overnight. Don't know notice of that. I've never ever done that. It's cold out here anyway, but whack them in, an hour later, away you go. Take no notice of what anyone says. I've never had a problem.
Them doing that. No.
They say about the sensors, that's because people highlight a problem. I've had 3 machines, never ever one problem, have we? As you can see on here now, getting back to the PerfectDraft Pro, it's taking effect now. If the app's on fire, I'll be able to show you. It should know I've taken, I probably won't now, I'm doing
well,
this.
that would probably be more to do with our internet down here, wouldn't it?
Alright, it's not brilliant, but it knows I've taken 0.3. I've actually taken 0.5, but that's not bad that the app's picked that up already, if you see what I mean. When you take another one, it will go down to like 5 litres. As you see, 30 days left, because I've only started today, 5 degrees, as we know from looking at the machine. Remember, you don't need to use the phone app if you don't want to.
Yeah, it's all on the machine.
That's a personal preference. Right, I think that's tied everything up. I don't know if there's anything more I can say. I know I've gabbled on, but I've been meaning to do this since I got...
a lot of people are really interested in the differences between the machines, because a lot of people aren't like us. They're not drinking the amount of beer we're drinking and sampling.
Not me.
So you just want to go for one that is going to be good for you, that's got your preferences, the things that you like. Personally, on the pouring note, Paul's good at pouring from every machine that we've got. I'm not. I find it really difficult. I'm not very good at it. This one, for me, is the easiest machine that I've ever poured from, and 9 times out of 10 I get a decent pour from it.
Great. It's not good. Right.
Big and of what I'm drinking on his app.
Yeah, I know. You tell me the app's wrong. But no, as I say, I know I've gone on a bit, but as I say, I was asked to do this by a few people over the course of time. Kept saying we'll do it. So that's it. Any questions to it, just put in the comments box. It's not a problem. Anything we don't know, we'll try and find out as quick as we can. You can always come out here, trial and error. And yeah, feel free to like the post if you think it's good. You can always dislike. Consider subscribing if you haven't. We'll be doing much more things like this as time goes on, won't we?
Yeah.
We're going to do the 2 perfect drafts and then bring the sub into it as well. Hopefully this week, aren't we?
Yeah, we're going to try and get all the machines up against each other and see what's what with each of them.
But yeah, we might even bring the 5 litre one into it, but that'll go wrong. It'll be funny, but it's lining them all up together and having the space. We're trying to work on that. The only place I've got the space is on the floor, and that's just not good. Anyway, thanks for watching, especially if you got this far on this huge video. As I say, take care and onwards to the next one.
Yeah.
Bonjour.